do have a last word. Goes a little something like this.
We need a beat. Do it again.
Okay, so today I got a guy that I met about over 10 years ago. He had a mobile studio, one of the most epic things I ever seen. He would come to your crib with all the equipment and basically record your song right in the comfortability of your house, in your space, you know? And to me, that was the most epic thing I seen at the time. And it was just like, I gotta keep my eye on this dude right here. So the dude that I'm talking about is this man right here, J Pad.
What's going on, brother HounD? How are you, bro?
Man?
Oh man, blessed to be on the show.
I still want to thank you for coming to he came to the Mayhem show, you remember that?
I did.
Oh, right. And I never even I ain't sent him the flyer or nothing. He just showed up.
I didn't know you was
Absolutely.
there.
He just showed up. He was there.
I was there.
He was on stage.
I just know to I just know to make my presence felt and still let the people that are really there for that night. You know, it's their night. So. You know, but I love showing support to the people. Yeah. I love showing support to the people, man. It's just that important.
What started first for you? Was it engineering or was it producing?
It was neither.
It was artist, being an artist.
It was not even being an artist. I date so far back that I actually am from the first generation. I'm from the first generation of hip hop. Absolutely. The first time I ever heard somebody rap, and I'm probably showing my age on this for sure, is 1977. 1977 was the first time I ever seen anybody rapping. It blew me away, and I was like, what did I just witness? What did I just witness? You know what I mean? It was crazy. And then, you know, maybe a few years later, I started seeing more people started getting into it. Me, myself, I'd say about 81, I became a beatbox. That was my first, assignment in hip hop, if you will. I was a beatboxer. I made beats with my mouth, man. I was one of the beatboxers in my city, up in Erie. But even before then, though, just to trail back just a little bit, because before then, I really was a musician from a very young age. The fourth grade was the first instrument, and that was the trombone.
Trombone, wow.
Yeah, the trombone. I still play the trombone today.
So you got good breath.
Oh yeah. I still play the trombone to this day, and that was my first lesson in music. You know what I'm saying? Before then, it's just I had some parents that had a eclectic record collection, and it was a common thing around my house to hear nothing but different types of music. Yeah. I wasn't just listening to what most traditional families, in our household would listen to. You know what I mean? Not only did I listen to Barry White and Isaac Hayes and those greats, you know what I mean, and Quincy Jones and things of that nature, but I also was introduced into the fabulous Dorseys, Jose Feliciano, Marco Santa Maria, you know what I'm saying, Cal Jader, these were some jazz breaks, you know what I mean,
How about say they jazz,
Wes
right?
Montgomery, Errol Garner, who was a Pittsburgh legend. A lot of people don't even know he has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Wow.
Yeah, Errol Garner, he's one of the greatest pianists that ever lived, and he came from Pittsburgh. So, my history started way before hip hop even came into existence. Like I said, I was probably like, at that time I was 5. I was 5 years old, man, in 77. And that was the first time I actually was at a party. It was like a Christmas party or something like that, and somebody started rapping over some instrumentals. Like the song would play, and then of course back then the songs were much longer. So the guy ended up taking the microphone from the DJ. I don't even think the DJ was ready. Took the microphone from the DJ and started rapping over what they call now the break of the record. The break of the record. And he just started rapping and kept going and kept going. The DJ didn't know what the heck was going on. He didn't keep it going like you would see a DJ like from New York who were able to loop that
spinning
part,
that break back.
keep spinning the break. He wasn't a scratcher. This guy was just playing records. And the dude got up there and he did his little rap, and I was just blown away. I was like, what the heck?
I would have loved to see something like that back then for the first time. Never hearing nothing like that ever in your life.
Away,
yeah.
Already been done. I'm protected by angels and blessed by the sun.
So you said something about the beat battles.
Oh, beat battles, yeah.
Who are some of the artists that you produce for? Because I know you produce for a lot of people.
Oh, I produce for probably some of your favorite producers. You know, as far as known, I've got credits with, you know, tracks. Well, the track will be released at some point in the future with Busy Bone on it from Bone Thugs and Harmony. I had Slim Duncan from Brick Squad on the track
Internationally known from Erie,
Project Pad. That's my guy. Shout out Project Pad. Miss Toy, Emmanuel. Miss Toy, if people don't know Miss Toy, she was the girl that was on Ice Cube's record. You can put your back into it. I've been producing Miss Toy now for about a year. I will never fall. Shout out to the West Coast, you know what I mean? Emmanuel is from Pittsburgh. Those who don't know, but he used to be one of the former lead singers of Pretty Ricky.
Surviving struggle. We had that government special, the milk, cheese, and butter.
Probably the greatest singer that I've ever heard.
Easy roads. We live by the principles, yeah, we stuck by the code. It wasn't easy. It wasn't pretty. There were setbacks galore. The pathway was shit. I watched them walk away, still I pressed on. Determination, internally strong. And here I stand today. I made it through the rain. I made it through the lies. I made it through the pain. Made many mistakes, it only made me better. I won the battle way before this superficial pressure. I outlasted them all. I will never fall. Solidified until the end of time.
I know a lot of these people. I knew that you did a lot of these beats. I just wanted you to say it on camera so people can know that.
Simply Kill.
This is a real deal producer I'm sitting here with. Like, this guy.
That ain't already been done. I'm protected by angels and blessed by the sun.
Producer need.
What does a producer need? First of all, you, just like an artist, need your publishing. Everybody needs their publishing. The record company needs a publishing. You know what I'm saying? Shit, everybody needs publishing. So you need your publishing first and foremost. You need to understand your rights as a producer. You need to understand what copyrights are always yours. You need to understand which ones are not. You need to understand that you need a contract really to do proper business with artists, because you're going to keep getting the rigmarole when it's just handshakes and hugs. You're going to keep getting the rigmarole. People are going to say that they negotiated to one thing, but because it was on word and not on paper, which can be notarized and binded as a contract. Because once the notary stamps that piece of paper, I don't care if it's a loose leaf piece of paper or if it is something typed up. Once we sign our name on the dotted line and that thing is stamped, that is called a binding contract. You bind people into your contract so that way they agree to your terms, and make sure that you put in the paperwork that a split has to happen. A split, meaning that they have to do a publishing split with you. And normally it can be negotiated at your terms, for real, because you made the beat. This is how this shit does go. And most people don't even know that the producer is the one that probably gets the largest percentage, because he'll have an involvement in the writing of the song. So now he's not only getting paid as a producer, but he's also getting paid as a songwriter. But you cannot show ownership of that shit without publishing. So you gotta have your publishing, you gotta have contracts. And not only that, but you have to have a willingness to invest outside of you creating beats. You know what I'm saying? Facebook promotion without payment is not going to work. That means you're not doing business on Facebook. It means you're not doing business on Instagram because you're not putting no money behind advertising. You're not advertising. You're hoping that people miraculously look at this shit. And I realize that ain't how the game goes. You have to make an investment in promotions. You either need to hire a third party PR or you need to start learning how to do it your motherfucking self. You have to learn how to do it. You should have a general understanding of how to do anything anyways, because why would I hire somebody to do something and I don't have no general understanding of what it is that I just hired them to do? I don't think that that's going to work at all. I think that it's really important that we understand.
And messing with the windows.
Exactly. Understand intellectual property as a producer. Understand that what you create is what you create. Understand that you need to have a clause in your contract if you do have a sample in your beat. Because then it will be up to the artist to clear, and I mean clear that sample. It won't be in your responsibility. You have to structure the contract as you see fit. For those who you feel generous for, you can design a contract to say, all right, I'm going to give you full exclusive right to this. Meaning that I'm going to give you ownership of this. It's the only time that an artist will own any beat. Any beat. Any beat. Other than that, how could they own something that you created with your own bare hands?
I will never fall. I am legendary. Solidified.
We talked about it briefly off camera. Yeah, but how did the mobile studio start?
Oh, okay. So we fast forward into the mobile studio. Okay, yeah. The mobile studio was an idea that I actually first tried out right before I moved to Pittsburgh, which was roughly about 20 years ago.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was still in Erie. At the time, I'm from Erie, Pennsylvania, for those who don't know. Did a lot of my early hip-hop in Erie. I was probably one of the founding fathers of the hip-hop scene of Erie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I came at a wave in a time where it was like the early 90s. The late 80s, early 90s is when I first started. You know what I mean?
You were part of the wave.
I was part of the wave. So one of my last years in Erie before I actually moved to Pittsburgh, I was moving around, bro. I was moving around a little bit, and I said, you know what? I had a laptop at that time. Of course, they were slower than the laptops that y'all use now, and the phones and everything that y'all use now. But I said, you know what? I think I want to give this a try because I had my first software. I think it was Acid Pro.
I remember Acid Pro.
They actually still have Acid Pro now.
For real? I didn't even know that
Yeah,
was
they
still out.
shit, man, dude. I'm telling you, it's crazy how they've brought a lot of these retro softwares back. Cakewalk, Acid Pro, yeah, Cakewalk is back on the scene.
I ain't heard them names in years.
Oh man, those are
That's
some
crazy.
of the very first DAWs. For those of you in the producer game, Cakewalk, Acid, those, Sony had Acid, and I liked Sony products.
Mm-hmm.
So I started working on, my first computer working on music was Acid Pro on a Windows computer. So what I said was, once I found out that I could record vocals, I didn't even have a condenser mic. I didn't have nothing fancy. I had a dynamic microphone that you normally see people rapping on stage with. I had that, and I had a stand, and I had, what I would consider like back in the day interface, you know what I'm saying? A way back in the day, early entry level interface. And I would go around the city, and I tried it with a few people. Made absolutely nothing doing it. But I proved one thing to myself, that it could be done.
Exactly.
And it could be done. And so when I first officially got to Pittsburgh, I was broke as a joke. I ain't even gonna sit there and act like I wasn't. You know what I mean? That was probably one of the reasons why I came to Pittsburgh, because it wasn't working for me in Erie. And I had lost my job. I was working in television at the time. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know I have experience in TV. I worked for NBC for 7 years. And so, make a long story short, at the time of transition, I had nothing going on. And I was just trying to latch on to something down here. I needed a break and a new fresh start. Get down here, and I thought about it, and I still had my equipment. I had my laptop, and I had a couple other things. And I said, you know what? I know there's studios here, and I know the probability of me getting in those studios is probably next to nil, because they already had a roster of people. So I said, one day, well, how can I create something for myself because I still love to do music without stepping on nobody's toes. And then, boom, ding, ding, it came in my head. I said, you know what? I'm going to create a service where my studio comes to people's houses. And so the very first edition, I was wrong off camera, but the very first edition of the studio that comes to you, it was called The Traveling Bear.
Okay.
Because at the time, I was not called J Pad Da Juggernaut. I was called J Pad Da Bear. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason why I got the nickname was because of the bucket hats and the shit that I was wearing.
Like Smokey.
I kind of look like Paddington.
Okay.
That's where Pad came from.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So people.
Oh, okay.
So
Wow.
yeah, Pad
That's
is not
crazy.
for anything about me hitting pads.
Okay.
I thought
Because
it was pants.
no, Paddington was a nickname
That's
that I
a,
got
that's a
in high
gem
school.
right there. Ain't nobody never gonna know that.
Yeah, Paddington was a nickname that I got in high school because my favorite group was EPMD. And instead of wearing the Kangos, I kind of switched my style up when I got to high school. And I said, you know what, man, I'm gonna wear these bucket hats. So we went down to the local hatter, me and my boy, and we bought out all of them because it was only like $2 a piece. You know what I'm saying? I bought all the fisherman hats in the store. And so I come to school one day and they were like, yo, you know who you look like? You look like Pat, because I got a little round face and shit, you know what I mean? So it was like, yeah, you look like Paddington. And I used to hate it. You know what I mean? Because I was the type of dude, I used to do my hip hop thing. Instead of the bucket hat being straight up and down, I used to flip mine up in the front.
Yeah, that's how I rock, man.
Okay, I used to flip mine up in the front. So that's how I did, boom, Paddington. So I called myself the Traveling Bear. Traveling Bear, I printed up a bunch of just naked white, because back then you didn't have graphics and stuff like that, people. You know, at the time I got here, man, we was still printing stuff out on regular paper. You know what I mean? And so, to make a long story short, I go around the city on the bus. Like I caught a bus, I got me a little bus token and this, that, and the third. Caught the bus and went around the city, and I mainly started at the heart of downtown, right by the T station. So I would sit out there for like maybe about a half hour, 45 minutes, and everybody that I thought that I could see that did music, I would ask them, like, hey man, y'all do music, this, that, and the third? They'd be like, yeah man, what's going on? Like, well here, check this out, it's a new service that's going around town. It's got my telephone number on it, you know what I'm saying? Just hit me up. And no matter where you are in the city, and that was my thing, I said it's the only studio that comes to you. And sure enough, it took me maybe about 2-3 weeks, but I started getting phone calls. And once I started getting phone calls, that's how the mobile studio got started.
I will never fall. I am legendary. Solidified. I am legendary. Until the end of time. I will stay.
Cut, and tap the whole way. From the front of the beat, wherever the sample kicked in, to the end. If you fucked it up on one tap,
Yeah, start
you
over.
had to go back and start over.
Yep.
You talk about 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
You talking about I probably lapped that about 3 times. I probably done lapped 10,000 man hours in
My
about.
last question for you, right? My last question. I did bump the thing. I'm sorry. But my
This
last
probably
question.
dead anyway.
My last question is, what keeps you beating on the desk?
What keeps me beating? I think that it was just something that I had made a decision. I made a conscious decision like about 20 years ago. I told myself, I said, man, you know what? More than likely I'm going to be doing this till the day I die. More than likely. Because I seen that it wasn't going anywhere in my life. It was just coming more and more. So once I realized that it was coming more and more, I was like, you know what, man, I think there's a high potential that I'll probably still be doing this at this age. And I still am. It's just in me, bro. I think that that's just the thing about it. If it's in you, it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere, and I would say don't run away from it. You know what I'm saying? Run towards it. Run towards it every single time. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something that's meant to be here in your life now at this point for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And if you really believe that exists in your life, and they say that the only way that you're living life is doing what you love, you know, you need to continue to do that. You need to continue to do just that. And that should be the focal point of what you do. Everything else is just part of the umbrella. It's under the umbrella. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's what keeps me going, bro. It's like I made a commitment to this, and I knew it was going to be a life. I knew it was going to be a life. I knew I was going to probably do this forever and a day until I say it's over, because that's important for people to know. It's not over until you say it is. You know what I'm saying? And there is nothing in my brain right now that's telling me that this is nearly over. This is just another chapter.
That was a bar.
Hey, I'ma end it like that, man. This is Beating on the Desk. I'm HounD. This is J
Pad Da Juggernaut, man. CustomBeatKing.com. Make sure you check out the website. Check out the new video labels. I got a new video that's dropping after this one. It's called God's Will. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, just check me out, man. All you gotta do is go to my website. Everything that you need to know about me is there.
Truth!
I'm gonna give y'all one of my old classic ones. This is in the hip hop style.
Dripping like cross.
Back in 2001.
Man, them niggas just hating. He all talking that jazz. He all talking that jazz. That's what are you saying? You all talking that jazz. You all talking that jazz. See me with my girl, they be like, look at that. You better not say it. My homie named King Tech, and he keep that thing swaying. But you ain't probably get that. Shout out to the real niggas. One time for the real niggas. Tell them bring the thing back. Flow got the game zip.